Today I would like to talk about the millennial learner and how it impacts our instruction. Every time I say something that my son doesn't know, he pulls out his iPhone. And he doesn't trust what I say until he confirms it on the internet. Why is that? Well, he was born in 1992, right in the middle of the millennial generation. Here's an example. While teaching a class of fourth year automotive students, we are discussing gear ratios and power flow through transmissions. As I teach, I see the iPhones out, the smartphones out, the iPads out, checking and double checking. You want to feel pressure as an instructor? Wow. When I first started teaching 12 years ago, if a student questioned anything that I was saying, it was difficult to double check. You had to go to the library, research it, copy the proof the instructor is wrong, bring it back to class, and then show that the instructor was incorrect. Now feedback is fast. Trust me. 15 seconds on Google will find you anything you want. How do we teach this generation, the millennials? Well, start with opening a dialogue with your students. Let their curiosity and inquiries lead the way to further discussion. Collaborate, exchange ideas, and repeat again if necessary. We need to show students that what they are learning is important to their future. We need to show them how it can impact them and make their lives better. I talk to the students about how education has shaped my life and how it has made me better in almost all facets. But the point is, a millennial cares about what impacts their lives. Once they understand how they can benefit, you can see a clear buy-in and the student becomes very engaged in the learning process. We need to diversify how we teach. Death by PowerPoint is no more. I once had an instructor that I did some relief instruction for that insisted that the students copy word for word off a Rolodex. That old 80% theory of memorization through writing down, absolutely mind-numbing. You thought PowerPoint was bad. Now for our students, we have Moodle, YouTube, Google, the list goes on and on. The resources for us as an instructor is vast and for the students equally as impressive. We can use these YouTube videos in class. The students use Moodle to coordinate what they are studying. We as instructors can use this to stay on track and on time as well. We can even use YouTube in the shop if a student doesn't understand how a procedure works. I had a student who couldn't get a disc brake apart. He whipped out his iPhone, Googled the exact system he was working on in less than 30 seconds, was watching a video demonstrating exactly what he needed to do. Pretty amazing stuff. We need to make our teaching relevant, and when we connect our lessons to real life, students will understand and grasp the subject matter better. I like to tell stories about things I've done while I was working, and yes, some are funny, and most involve me feeling pain, which for some reason the students love. But the bottom line is they connect. As instructors, we can use Facebook and Twitter to communicate and organize with our students. Some students post on Facebook 200 times a day. Here are a couple funny facts. Most millennials would rather quit their job than delete their Facebook page. If faced with the choice of keeping the job and deleting their Facebook account, most will choose Facebook. Here is another one. Texting is something that the millennials have a hard time doing without. Less millennials are driving than Generation X. Why is that? Well, at first it was thought that since millennials are notorious for being green, they did not want to harm the environment. We couldn't be more wrong. Seeing as it's illegal to text and drive, a millennial would rather text than drive. Back when I went to school, I was Gen X. The teachers were dealing with the same issues that we are now. Previous to my generation, everything was paper with some film strips with a video projector. Color TV was the new media and was introduced to instruction using VHS tapes. It was new, it was revolutionary. Don't you see the parallel? When you sit down and think about this, every generation sees the same issues as technology progresses. We are not the first group of instructors to deal with this. Since the first teacher sat on a rock and enlighten the students to now. Educators have been challenged to instruct in a way that is both progressive and stimulating to the learner so education can be exciting. If we want to look to the future, we have to look no farther than the medical field. Holographic animation is here, but it is not readily available for us yet, but it is close. You can see animation on the game platforms that the students play games on. Will it be long before learning becomes a game? Break down how the game experience works. You have a task. Once you complete it, you get a reward of acquiring game points and moving on to the next test. Facts of behavioralism doesn't that, but that's a thought for another day. Anyhow, thanks for listening to me today. This is Rob Jukes, and this is how I see it.